What's up, YouTubers? Coming at you again, making another video in regards to the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society about reasoning from the Scriptures. What you guys don't know, if you are at a local bookstore or Salvation Army or a secondhand thrift shop, go through the used books and see to find this, because they're not making this book anymore. And I'm going to keep showing this because out of all the books that I have in my collection, I would say this is probably one of my top three. The reason why is that whenever a witness comes to your door, the older ones, the new ones now, even the older ones now are being taught just to go ahead and put your tablet in front of them and show them a little video and go to jw.org and then you're good. And they count that as hours. This little gem is awesome because it would give you as far as how to use it, and then basically when you hear the knock on the door, and then it gives you, let's say, a topic, home Bible study, and the person opens the door, introduce yourselves, blah 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 blah. I'm Chris. This is Tom, Ted, Fred, whatever. I'm calling to offer you a free home Bible course, if I may. I'd like to take a few minutes to demonstrate how people in some 200 lands discuss the Bible at home as family groups. We can use any form of these topics as a basis for discussion. And then it goes through as far as the topics that you like to go through. You show them the table of contents. Now, what's interesting is that how you might respond to potential conversation stoppers. So, one, it's telling you how to start the conversation, and if they give a rebuttal, it's telling you how to squash or stop the rebuttal. Um, I'm not interested. I'm not interested in Jehovah's Witnesses. And just to say an answer for that, many folks tell us that. Have you ever wondered? Many folks tell us that. Have you ever wondered why people like me volunteer to make these calls, even though we know that the majority of householders may not welcome us? Give the gist of Matthew 25:31 through 33. Um, so it basically gives the conversation stoppers of how to deal with that. And then when you get into the meat of it, you get past the conversation stoppers, it goes to Adam and Eve, and then you go through some of the topics here. Adam and Eve, abortion, ancestor worship, Armageddon, which is a big one for them, Babylon the Great, which is another big one, birthdays, another big one, blood, another big one. Um, it's basically got all of their main core doctrines that they swing to. Mine, which I have children, and mine was ripped on this side, but this is original one from the 1985, and there was a reprint in 1989. But they don't make this book anymore, and it's absolutely golden because of the new teaching that they have put in regards to the overlapping generations, which you can look. I've got mine marked with a piece of paper, but I've got the topic of religion marked. If we personally read the Bible, is that sufficient? Is it true? It is true that many people can learn a great deal by reading the Bible personally. If their motive is to learn the truth about God and His purpose, what they are doing is highly commendable. Acts 17:11, and this is the Bereans, by the way. But being honest with ourselves, are we truly going to grasp the full significance of it all without help? The Bible tells us about a man who held a prominent position, but who was humble enough to acknowledge his need for help in understanding Bible prophecy. That help was provided by a member of the Christian congregation, Acts 8:26-38. Now, the problem with that is Philip and the Ethiopian. Make sure I'm checking my facts just real quick. But it's Philip and the Ethiopian in regards to the Spirit. He was carried along. Now I'm going to go to that just quickly. I'm sure I should have had that out. Yes, Philip opened his mouth. Let's see. basically, the sum of the story is Philip's reading a passage from Isaiah 53. The eunuch wants to know about it. Philip tells him about it, opens his mouth to him, and preached to him Yeshua. And then he got baptized. That was it, done. There's nothing else after that. Now the kicker is Philip taught him what he needed to know, and then he was done. There wasn't no new light. There wasn't a you have to come back to be saved. You have to study with us. That was it. So it's important with this book because, like with all the other books, they are going out of print because the teachings are no longer viable. They're no longer valid. Some of them will really kind of shock you. Some of them are good to debunk certain Christian theologies. If you haven't studied it, it'll mess you up. Which I've studied the Watchtower for a while now. I know where they're coming from. Like I said, and I've said it before, they're good people. I love anybody in the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society, the organization. I believe they're highly deceived, but this is one of the books that you want to get. If you can get it, I would check it out, look for it. If you find one, get it, save it. Especially if you've got members, try to get your hand, or if you've got family members in it, try to get your hand on one, because there's many topics in here as far as false religion. Let's see, prophecy is another big one. Let's see, the New World Translation is another one. The Last Days, which that's, I think, probably one of the main reasons why they stopped making this one. The main heading, the Bible uses the expression last days to refer to concluding time period leading up to a divinely appointed execution that marks the end of a system. This system of things, kind of skipping down the last sentence, the present wicked system of things, which extends worldwide, entered its last days in 1914. That's a big date for the witnesses. If you study their history, 607, you'll understand why. And some of the generation alive then will also be on hand to witness its complete end in the Great Tribulation. So Armageddon's supposed to happen by the last generation of 1914. And that's the reason why they don't make this book anymore, because they've come out with new light to say, well, yeah, that's what we thought at that time, but not anymore. So, food for thought. Add that to your library. It's a good book. I like to use it, which witnesses will say, hey, well, do you have this book anymore? Or do you have it? If you have it, you should check it out. Which is funny because they always want to steer you to things like that when you're talking about the Trinity. But if you're talking about prophecy and false prophets, oh no, we don't know anything about that. So, food for thought. Have a great night. Shalom.